Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And, of course, taped live at the twitch.tv/Steven Larson. Speaking of which, got a huge announcement. I know a lot of people, for whatever reason, I have no idea why, and it's neither you nor I, but a lot of people out there want to see me and Larson back in the same room together, interacting, mixing it up, germs everywhere. It's
or
disgusting.
Like being awkward. Uncomfortable, like awkward laughter because we feel like we gotta laugh at each other's jokes now that we're in the same room. Even though
we don't really know each other that well.
No.
Yeah, we don't like being around each other.
I don't know how to socialize anymore.
Yeah.
I don't.
So we got some good news and bad news on that front. The bad news for those of you who might think this was me saying that we're actually going to do the show from that. No, that's not happening. These little boxes that we're in right here, these are sticking around. We're going to continue to do the show remotely.
This rectangle I'm in right here is my comfort zone these days.
Right. Exactly. The frame you see here is the frame that it will be always. I don't know how you phrase it. Anyways.
The frame you see now is the frame you'll see for the duration of the stream. But no point.
Thank you.
Show the actual paper.
That being said, the good news is this Wednesday, we are going to get together to check out 2K22. Will it be a dumpster fire? Will it be pretty good and save WWE from
probably be somewhere in between
from going somewhere else? Yeah, so we're going to get together. We're going to hang out for a couple hours. We're going to play some 2K22. We're going to try to get goofy with this. So, yeah, I mean, look, I think it'd be fun from time to time for us to get together, maybe like on a monthly basis and do something like this. Some people seem to want that.
Well, we'll see how the first one goes, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is going to be a feeling out process.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to be doing that this Wednesday at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Now, part of this is going to be, we're going to do kind of like a silly thing where I'm not sure how much we're actually going to be playing it. More like we're going to be drafting characters, and then we're going to be simming these characters. We're going to be having them fight, and then we're going to be betting on it using channel points. And then we'll have sorry, Gypsy just got on my couch. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We're just gonna be goofing around. Good time to hang out this coming Wednesday, so that should be fun. Which does mean
that but go ahead.
Our actual podcast that we usually do on Wednesdays, we're gonna be doing our NXT review on the AEW review. We're just gonna do it sort of in a short way after we actually review Dynamite, which should be a really good episode.
Yeah.
So there's that. This coming Sunday is Prestige Wrestling at the Colonial in Sacramento. We have purchased tickets, and we purchased tickets. So I have no idea if it's a sellout yet, but if you're in the Northern California area, you want to say what's up to Steven Larson, Hilton's going to be there too. So for whatever reason you want to say hi to Hilton, are you confirming this news from White Brownie in the chat here?
Yeah, I just thought, that is on the.
What's up with that?
Well, I imagine they're going to continue the feud they started in NXT on Raw.
No, the people can't. They don't know what we're talking about. What did he say? What's going on here? Braun Breaker to debut on Raw tonight.
Well, I mean that's what PW Insider is reporting here is that Braun and Ciampa are both backstage at tonight's Raw.
Ah, okay. Well, there you go. That's
so it
cool.
could be continuing the feud that they've been having to lead into, of course, Dolph versus Braun on NXT Roadblock this Tuesday.
Steven Larson relegating my show to an afterthought on the AEW show. I don't think so. I'm going to be on Raw. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to be at Prestige Wrestling April 16th. We just got tickets.
Heck yeah.
For Action Coast Wrestling, also happening in Sacramento. We went to the last show, their first show in Sacramento here since before pandemic. It was a blast. We had a great time.
Great.
So if you're in the Northern California area, April 16th, we'll be at Action Coast Wrestling. You can check them out. They got a Twitter. They got a Facebook. They got everything. We'll retweet a link if we see a link on that on Twitter. So be sure to follow us.
We'll put that up.
At Real Going In Raw. So
absolutely.
go check that out. Anyways, a lot of news from the weekend in wrestling. Some fallout from the big AEW Revolution show yesterday. So we're going to talk about all that. Of course, WrestleMania is right around the corner, so we got a couple of news items about that, including, we kind of figured Cody Rhodes might be at WrestleMania, perhaps. We don't know, but we do have some info on the latest. What's going on, man?
So last Thursday, I believe it was, BodySlam.net's Cassidy Haynes reported that talks between Cody and WWE had fizzled out shortly thereafter. Dave Meltzer reported that regardless of whether Cody had actually signed a deal with WWE at that point, WWE's creative team was preparing for his eventual arrival. However, Meltzer amended or added to that report over the weekend, stating on a recent Wrestling Observer Radio that, quote, his being Cody, his status has changed in theory. He was on the books in WWE. They had creative laid out for him. They still thought on Friday that they had creative laid out for him. Now it's very uncertain. They don't know what's going on with Cody Rhodes. They're not sure. They thought they had him. It's not like it's dead. It's not like they think they don't have him, but they're not sure.
It's not like they think they don't have him. They're not sure.
So it was kind of weird over the weekend. So there was this huge house show at Madison Square Garden on Saturday. And Fightful Select, by the way, go subscribe to Fightful Select. They were doing great work trying to figure out who Brock's opponent was going to be.
Yeah.
And as Fightful put it, WWE was like being exceptionally secretive about who Brock's opponent was going to be. Of course, that starts fueling speculation that Cody might be somehow involved, despite reports that talks between them had fizzled out. Of course, it just ended up being Austin Theory. Apparently, he got squashed pretty quickly, and they had a post-match angle between Roman and Brock. But I'm like, if Cody's debut is going to happen at a house show, first of all, they're not going to feed him to Brock Lesnar and lose.
No,
Probably.
That would not happen. That'd be weird.
I mean, I wouldn't do this, but from WWE's perspective, I would understand if they're like, hey, let's have Cody show up at this house show to steal some of the spotlight from Revolution the next day. Have him come out to say, hey, I'll see y'all on Monday.
Yeah.
And then he actually has his full proper television debut on Monday, and you go from there. Again, not how I would have done things, but if WWE had done it that way, I'd be like, all right, I guess I could see their logic in that.
No, I could totally see that. And then you open Raw with that clip.
Yeah.
That I could see that. That's not a terrible way to go about things.
But that didn't happen. So
yeah, this was kind of interesting, man, because you and I were talking about this a little bit over the weekend. One of the other writers over there at Wrestling Observer had posted in their message board that it was his speculation that the situation was WWE offered Cody a certain amount. Cody then went to Tony Khan and said, I'm not coming back. They make the big deal about the releases with about his decision not to come back. And he's leaving with all the press releases. And then this speculation is that Vince would have been like, okay, well, I've got all the leverage now. The deal is now is less than it was in the first place, sort of, playing Cody, if you will. No idea. That is simply speculation on somebody's part.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure, how well educated that speculation would be if Vince would do something like that, because that sounds kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that sounds really messed up.
So who knows what the real situation is, but I know one thing. At this point, Cody can't go back to AEW. Like right now, he can't. You can't walk away, make a big to-do. You got press releases and shit, and then be like, oh, crap, well, that didn't quite work out. And then come back to the company where everybody's booing you in the first place.
Yeah, and then at the same hand, it's just speculation from this other reporter at Wrestling Observer. But if there's like an ounce of truth to that, how do you go to WWE? You think you have a deal, you show up, they rip up the deal. Again, it's just speculation. As far as we know, there's no truth to it.
This is okay. So
but for the sake of conversation, let's go down this
the fun shit to talk about.
Exactly. So we'll preface this whole conversation. We don't know if there's any truth to this.
Right.
But if there is a little bit of truth to it,
yeah.
How do you go to WWE?
You do nothing, man. You do nothing. You sit out for a year.
I know. You go to Hollywood, you try to make some movies, get on a TV show or two, and then you give it a year, see what happens.
And then wherever you go after a year solves everything. Wherever you go after a year, unless you've done something shitty. But in this case, if you're just getting played, Like, it's okay to take a year. He's got money. He can make money in Hollywood doing whatever. Tease your return. Make a big deal about where you're going to go. And then you go someplace. If you get lowballed, it doesn't matter. If you go to AEW, it doesn't matter because you're coming back after a year. And that's what you do. I don't know, to like public perception, like, I think he could still, like, as a man with an ego, I don't think he could go to WWE if that's true. If they're like, hey, we're going to give you all this money, and then no, we're going to give you what we offered Cesaro.
Yeah, no.
And if he goes there, yeah, that would suck. You can't do that if you have like an ego on you. But if you're like, man, I kind of need this money and I want to be at WrestleMania, maybe you just suck it up and be like, okay, well, lesson learned. That was a learn, not a win.
Well, but at the same point, like, how could you ever trust Vince? You couldn't. I mean, you should be walking into that situation kind of, with suspicions anyways, given your history with WWE, just from Cody's perspective. Yeah. You think you got a deal there. It's ripped up against all speculation.
If they
talk
had
about
said,
it like it's actually factual, and they rip it up, and you're like, okay, well, how can I proceed with this business relationship when immediately you betrayed the trust?
Well, okay, so here's the thing, though. And again, we have no idea, but it's fun to talk about this.
It is.
We're just a couple of wrestling nerds. We're fans.
1,000%.
And this is the shit that going back 20 years was always the most fun thing to sit around and talk about. But if part of the idea was, Cody, we didn't know you were going to have a press release. We thought you were just going to show up. That's what the big money was for. You were going to show up without letting anybody know you left. What do you think the Monday Night Wars was all about?
Yes,
it was all about people just showing up. And on top of that, Cody, who cares if you're getting less money? Like, they don't really know what you're getting. You should leak out to one of your guys, Dave Meltzer, that you're making even more money. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. If you're Cody, you can save face by going to the WWE even if you're making less. And if the idea was, oh man, I shouldn't have put out that press release, then you just learn from the situation. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you look somebody in the eye and be like, yeah, this guy he just fucked me. He just fucked me. I don't know how you do that. So you just sit at home. That's what you do.
Yeah, you sit at home.
You sit at home.
Or you try to get some acting work. Do something.
Man, I actually, in the long run, in retrospect, I appreciated being laid off by Machinima 2 weeks after I brought a new child home because I got to be dad for that time. We were working like a couple days a week, maybe doing that 10 for for podcast for the win or whatever we were doing. Yeah. I got to be dad. I thought it was awesome. Mm-hmm. So maybe he's probably got a bunch of money already. He can maybe work a couple days a week doing Hollywood stuff. And then just be a dad. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing like raising a kid, man. It's a blast.
Nope. Let's talk about Stone Cold, Steve. So
hell yeah.
Back in mid-February, Fightful Select reported that WWE was trying to persuade Stone Cold Steve Austin out of retirement to have a match at WrestleMania 38. Of course, early rumors suggested that Kevin Owens could be his opponent.
What?
And that seemed more and more likely each week, with Owens repeatedly talking shit about the state of Texas over on Raw.
What?
But over the weekend, Meltzer again reported that that Austin wrestling at WrestleMania is no sure thing. These transcripts are from WrestlingNews.co. Steve Austin.
Yeah, can I read these?
Go ahead.
Okay. Steve Austin and Kevin Owens, they'll have a confrontation, but it's not clear if that will be a match or not anymore because it's essentially up to Austin at this point. They want the match. They thought they had the match. And Steve, there's a reason he hasn't wrestled for 19 years. And I just know as of Friday, he had not agreed to do the match, even though it was on the books. Now it's on the books as a confrontation. Bang, stutter. Those quotes come to you, those transcripts come to you from WrestlingNews.co.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if y'all think Stone Cold is going to taint his legacy by having one more match, not going to happen, you dumb son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was pessimistic that was going to happen eventually. There's a reason he's been retired for nearly 20 years.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Maybe this is the kind of situation where he thought he could squeeze him for more money. Money does a lot, man.
It does, but I don't think Austin's hurting for money.
I wonder if this story would have been a thing had he not even been considering it. I mean, yeah, you and I were both pretty pessimistic about this happening in the first place.
Yeah.
But I wonder if maybe it was a possibility at some point, and then either he thought about it or they were like, I don't know. Maybe he was like, yeah, no, all the money in the world ain't gonna get me to come out of retirement. I'm doing pretty well with my podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sad about this. I think you're gonna get Owens and Rollins mixing up in the tag scene.
Yeah.
They got that match. That match tonight's gonna be a goddamn good match.
It's supposed to open the show too, so that's a good way to start the show.
That's gonna be like
20
40 minutes.
Talking.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a whole 40-minute segment right there.
Yeah,
that's gonna be good stuff.
I hope so. Yeah, if this leads to Owens and Rollins being involved in the tag title match at Mania, and if we get Stone Cold coming out after the match hitting Owens with a stunner or something, at least give the crowd that.
Oh yeah, that'll be huge. That'll go over huge.
But Stone Cold having a match, I'd be really darn surprised. Yeah,
same. I mean, like I am sort of torn. Like I'm not completely anti the idea. I mean, look, he was, especially by the end, like in his biggest years, he was basically a brawler anyways.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to do, even with Goldberg, like the jackhammer is not that's not an easy move to pull off. You need a lot of core strength on two different dudes to pull that one off. And it's obvious that at this point for him, it's just a suplex.
Mm-hmm.
With Austin, it's just a bunch of brawling. If you're just an older dude, his style of match is that's kind of ideal if you're just an older guy like that. So I'm not necessarily anti the idea. Plus, if he's in there with Owens is a terrific wrestler.
Oh yeah.
So legacy wise, it doesn't really bother me much. If he's in there to have a good time, that's awesome. Good for him. But it's definitely not something that's like necessary. It's not something I need to see. And I kind of just for the fact of, rolling with the dudes that are relevant now, you keep this Owens Rollins thing going in the tag division as I learn how to speak.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That's what you do.
All right, let's take a break here to get a word in from our sponsor, BetterHelp. So Larson.
Yes.
I'm sure of course, that relationships often take work. A lot of us will drop everything and go out of our way to help someone we care about, but how often do we give ourselves that same treatment?
BetterHelp is here to remind us that you got to take care of the most important relationship in your life, the one you have with yourself. Several years ago, I started dealing with severe anxiety. It was then that I learned firsthand how important it is to take care of myself and talk to a therapist. But I also learned that it can be really tough to find the right person to talk to. Today, BetterHelp's online therapy makes the process of finding a therapist much more convenient by offering video, phone, or even live chat therapy sessions. And you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours.
Remember that you are your greatest asset, so invest as much time in yourself as you do the others in your life. Check out our sponsor, BetterHelp. And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/raw.
That's BETTERHELP.com/raw. Before we get back to the show, let's get a word from our sponsor, Coinbase. So, Steve, I got to be honest with you. I've been curious about getting to the world of cryptocurrency, but I find it all a bit overwhelming. Like, I have no idea where to even start, Steve. Where do I start?
I was once there with you, man. I totally understand. But then I started using Coinbase, which makes learning to buy and sell cryptocurrency simple. Coinbase's easy-to-use platform has basically turned me from a crypto dullard into a crypto pro. It was a breeze to start my own portfolio, and Coinbase supports the most popular digital currencies on the market, as well as offering portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app so I can keep tabs of all my crypto in one place.
So whether you're looking to diversify, get started, just find a better way to get into crypto markets, get started today with Coinbase.
For a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/goingin. Sign up at coinbase.com/goingin for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only.
We found a little bit last night during the post-Revolution media scrum what Tony Khan plans to do with Ring of Honor. He was asked about what plans he might have for the promotion now that he has acquired it. This is what he had to say. These transcripts was from Fightful. I can handle this first bunch if you want to handle the second, Steve.
Yeah, sure.
This is what Tony Khan had to say. Quote, I do have a lot of plans. I was very excited about reaching an agreement. I still plan to make more announcements. I'm still in a preliminary phase, and obviously it's been a very busy time with AEW and Revolution and all the things going on. I'll have a lot more to say about it. What am I going to do? There's still a lot of things we need to figure out. Distribution is a great question. What we're going to do moving forward, it assumes we're going to do something going forward. I do want to continue the operations for it. I do have a lot of plans for it. I do expect to continue the wrestling operations. It's also a very valuable library we acquired. Distribution, I can't say anything yet about it. What it will be and how it's going to live and exist. I'm very excited, not just about the library and past content, but the opportunities to create more content. Obviously, there are many other revenue streams, merchandising that will be able to generate, but it creates a lot of opportunities for us. It's great for AEW strategically. I think it's very good that I also now own Ring of Honor.
Yeah. He
talks about the roster, assuming they continue wrestling operations. Quote, I'm not going to say what I'm going to do with it in terms of the roster going forward, but there is a lot of opportunities, a lot of great wrestlers out there, young wrestlers, a lot of great wrestlers under contract here and not under contract here. Ring of Honor has an amazing history, and I do plan to respect it, and I want to keep it alive. That's one of the reasons they were excited to work with me, not to put words in their mouth. Joe Koff and all the people at Sinclair, they talked about how respecting the legacy was important, and that's why they were happy to see it end this way.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about who's going to book the show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he says, I'm going to be the booker. Tony Khan. Not Steve. Tony Khan. Huge announcement coming up. Can't talk about it.
So, man, that's news to me.
He said, Tony Khan's going to be the booker. He says, I'll be bringing in young wrestlers, and they have a lot of young wrestlers. He says, we're very successful here and doing very well here. I plan to continue to do very well with it and bringing in wrestlers that can work in Ring of Honor, AEW potentially. For continuity's sake, when you bring people in, other wrestling companies that have had multiple promotions under one corporate structure or one person, I don't think it's conducive to have people coming into an environment. Say somebody would come here from there, and the whole thing that's been going on with them, I might not be behind it. So is he alluding to sort of like the issues? I did see on Twitter somebody mentioning about the issues between the idea of the call-up, NXT to main roster.
Yeah.
Continuity. I mean, this honestly, like what this boils down to, man, is you've got a really cool idea. The main roster call-up, the NXT to WWE call-up, which has been botched more often than not by WWE. This is another idea that has a really good seed that Tony Khan can take and use Ring of Honor to do proper call-ups, to do developmental properly, to build up guys like, imagine if Moriarty and Garcia are sort of two of the bigger names in Ring of Honor, and they're built up under like, you know, the under the teachings of Bryan Danielson, Mox, and Regal, and they build their own thing over there. Or Hook goes over there, and he has his own team Taz, like a Team Hook, and they build that stuff up. And then it's really cool when you get an invasion coming over from Ring of Honor. You get like these call-ups where it's like they're already characters that have been established because Tony Khan is booking them.
Yeah,
it's a great idea. It's an idea that never really got off to its fullest potential. We thought several times that it was going to be done really, really well in WWE, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Here's a great idea that can actually be used to its fullest potential, but in Ring of Honor, in AEW. So yeah, and it does seem like, I mean, you know, when he says, you know, I'm not really sure what distribution is going to be like. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be another weekly show, if it's going to be a monthly thing. You would think in order to really get its footing, it would have to be another weekly show, perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd only be doing Darker Elevation and they'd put that time for Ring of Honor, but knowing Tony Khan, he might just be like, hey, these people are eating this stuff up. Might as well just add another hour of TV every week.
Well, I was assuming his broadcast partners can find time on their schedule to accommodate that. You know, if now that AEW has this vast Ring of Honor tape library, they need a home for it. If they get some sort of streaming deal, whether it be through Bleacher Report, where I don't even know if they have the infrastructure for that. I have no clue. But that's where here in the States, we get our AEW pay-per-views. Whether they work out some deal with another Warner Media property like HBO Max to host the back catalog, and then maybe have Ring of Honor on there. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. And Tony Khan's been relatively mum about streaming service partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully something is in the works in that regard, especially after last night. I'd love to see a lot more of CM Punk's work in Ring of Honor amongst other people,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It sounds like he has plans to continue it going forward. It's just a matter of like the logistics of how that's going to work out with the streaming partners distribution. Is it going to be, I'd be kind of surprised if it was still Sinclair, but I guess anything's possible. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. Covering even more weekly television, because the thing about that is it is sort of what I've been advocating for Dark and Elevation in the first place, is make that its own thing as your developmental. Well, now it looks like he's going to do that actual thing with Ring of Honor. I'll be a lot more likely to check that on a weekly basis. Wouldn't shock me if you and I, if it's a quality product, start covering that on a weekly basis.
Yeah. If it's a quality product in it, in
lieu of NXT.
And there's interesting stories being told in lieu of NXT.
Yeah. Yeah, there's quality stories being told. We can fit that in. We can ditch NXT and add a Ring of Honor and NXT UK to our actual.
There we go. NXT UK has some compelling stories. The best weekly product that would be produced.
It is.
Right now.
It absolutely is. It totally is. Yeah.
Last little bit of WWE news here. Well, I guess we got the Raw preview, but we got the second member of this year's Hall of Fame class. It was announced. Vader.
It's time.
Is going to the Hall of Fame along with Undertaker this year. People have been asking for Vader to get in the WWE Hall of Fame for a number of years. It's finally happened.
Yeah, this is great. It's sad that it didn't happen while he was alive. Honestly, I don't know why they waited.
I don't know either.
Like it was pretty clear. It was pretty clear when he was on his towards the end of his years, towards the end of his life. They made it very clear. They were very open. He was open. His family was open with, his medical issues at the time. I think he was given like 3 months to live, and he lasted another year or two, I think was the situation with him. WWE had plenty of time to make good on that, and they didn't. And it's an absolute bummer. So it's great for his legacy. But, just like with China, they had time while they were here. They had time while they were here, and they didn't do it. And it's a bummer.
It is a bummer. It is a bummer. It is a bummer. We can talk about Impact sacrifice results.
Oh my gosh, this show is all over the map.
It was all over the map. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire thing, although we did do predictions on it. I got to check out the rest, watch a little bit more than half of it, but we can run through the results.
This was fun, just like your guys' reaction, our text thread between you and the Enforcer.
Yeah.
Like, what? Swan and Willie Mack won?
Yeah.
I had 9 confidence points on
8.
Honor No More.
I had 8 on Honor No More, too. Woo! So, in the kickoff show, Rich Swann and Willie Mack defeated Honor No More's Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. I was expecting Honor No More to get that continued huge push.
What was the gimmick here? Was this like did Honor No More beat the shit out of Swan and Mac so much that they just gave Swan and Mac the win? Sometimes they do that. It's like a DQ or something.
No,
beating the shit out of
feel that way. No, it was this competitive bout that Rich Swann and Willie Mack won.
What the hell, man? Matt Taven just fucking on me again.
Also in the kickoff show, Lady Frost defeated Giselle Shaw.
Right on. That's cool.
First match of the main card, Trey Miguel defeating Jake Something to retain the X Division title. Fightful is reporting that Jake Something is now a free agent. I think he might have confirmed that.
He's a big dude. I hope somebody signs him. Like
4 or 5 years ago, I've been like, this dude's going to NXT.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Nowadays, I don't know, based on how they're recruiting people to be in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he did. Jake Something did confirm he's a free agent. This was a really good match too. This was a great match between Trey Miguel and Jake Something. Highly recommend.
That's cool. I'll check
it. It was really good. Ed Edwards, defeated Rhino in an overbooked mess.
Holy
this match
crap.
was a mess.
This had 2 turns in it, man. Steve Macklin shows up, And he lays out Ed Edwards, thinking, oh yeah, because he's team Impact. But then he lays out Rhino too. Apparently he's a free agent within Impact. He's still with Impact.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not a member of Team Honor no more. I'm Team Macklin.
I'm Team Macklin.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, seeing some of the members there of Team Impact, I'd probably be Team Steve at that point too. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just me. I'm just doing my thing.
Just doing my thing over here. Yeah. We got new knockout tag champs. The Influence defeated the Inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah, that was surprising.
Jonah outlasted PCO to get the win.
Gosh.
The finishing sequence was insane. So Jonah hits a tombstone on the ring steps, picks up PCO, power bombs him off the ring steps to the floor, puts him back in the ring, and hits a splash on PCO's head.
That was nuts.
It was crazy.
That was nuts, man.
Huge win for Jonah there. Jay White defeats Alex Shelley. Chelsea Green answers Deanna Purrazzo's champ challenge. Deanna Purrazzo gets the win. Apparently, Chelsea Green hurt her arm again.
Oh, what a bummer. That's an absolute drag.
It is.
That arm just keeps on. Man,
I know.
That's sad. She's really terrific, man.
She is. And then following that, Tasha Steelz beat Mickie James to become the new Knockouts champ.
That was
a really
awesome.
Good match. That was a great match.
Great.
Too.
Tasha Steelz is terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to Mickie James for doing the honors for Tasha Steelz, man. That's great. I'm glad to see that.
Violent by Design defeats the Good Brothers, become new Impact Tag Champs.
Mm-hmm.
And in the main event, Moose retained the Impact title against Heath, but then Josh Alexander returned to Impact. New contract in hand. He's getting a title shot against Moose at Rebellion.
So now whenever he gets a title shot or there's a number one contender match, I'm going to bet on Josh Alexander, but he's not going to win it for like 3 years. The same thing happened to Moose. It's like, when are they going to put the title on Moose? And it was like 3 years later.
No, I know.
But no, that's great for Josh Alexander. Hell of a talent.
Yeah.
So that's pretty great. They were able to keep him away from AEW.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So anyways, we got a Raw tonight. The first match should be a killer one. Alpha Academy. They're going to defend their Raw tag team titles against RK Bro and Rollins and Owens.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see that match going down, man? You think Alpha Academy is going to retain? We're going to get a title change here.
I feel like if there is I hope Alpha Academy retains and they run it back either against RK Bro or Seth and Owens. So Alpha Academy gets a Mania match. Something tells me RK Bro is going to win and they'll just take on Rollins and Owens at Mania, though.
I think you're probably right. I would love the first scenario. What I would really love to see, Alpha Academy retains. Somehow Street Profits make their way into the Mania match as a 8-man 4-way tag
Fatal
team
4-way
match.
tag match, yeah.
Because Street Profits should really be at Mania, and that match would be absolutely killer with those dudes. What is this shit? Jerry the King Lawler returns to Monday Night Raw.
I have no idea why he's supposed to be there. I don't know.
Are they in Memphis?
No, they're in Cleveland.
What the? What?
I
like the McAfee way of doing it. What?
Yeah, I don't get this. I don't understand it. I don't know.
Explain that to us. Where's the Superman Hall of Fame?
Where's the Superman Hall of Fame?
There's a Metropolis, Illinois. There it is. Is that what it is? It's a Superman museum, rather.
Oh, gotcha. Well, Griffin of Might here in chat says Jerry lived in Cleveland for a time and loves the city, so he has requested time on Raw to address his former hometown.
Well, they got 3 hours, I guess. Okay, he's a fan of Cleveland sports teams.
All right, none of this is answering the question. Why is he on Raw though?
Yeah, maybe because they're like, hey, we want to give Steven Larson a little respite, so we give him something they can fast forward through. In addition to all the recaps and commercials.
Yeah, maybe. Edge explains his vicious beatdown of AJ Styles. He did it. He did it before he beat him up. He explained why he did it. Mm-hmm. He wants the Bulldog.
He wants the Bulldog.
He doesn't have to explain again. Understand why he did it.
He just should beat him down again.
Yeah, just beat him down again.
This
is one of those promos I'm sure is going to be effectively delivered because Edge is good on the mic.
Yeah, but it's going to be like 7 minutes.
Don't need it. I know why he beat him down already. I don't need it. It's
going to be a long time, yeah.
I know why he did it. He said it last time.
They should have done, for this match, they should have done Edge and Beth Phoenix versus AJ and Wendy.
All right.
Isn't that the name of his wife?
Yeah.
Isn't that Smojo went to her house?
Yeah.
That's good.
And then
have we seen Wendy on camera before?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have.
Finally, Logan Paul returns to Raw to throw a homecoming party with The Miz.
It just sounds like too many. Dude, those last 3 are just talking things.
I know. I know. And none of it's really going to advance anything.
It's just talking, man. Hey, I like Logan Paul, though. That dude cracks me up. I know he's like terrible and everything, but like when he's on WWE programming, I get a smile. I'm like, oh, he's pretty funny.
Oh, Maggie says Wendy was holding their daughter in the crowd when Joe walked toward them. So,
this is what you do, though. You get like somebody from NXT 2.0. You just retcon Wendy. You know, just like a different person plays Wendy. Somebody like that looks like, and then add some like gray hair to them because like AJ's older, so Wendy's probably older.
Right.
And like some old granny glasses. Yeah, Lou says get the bartender lady. Fallon.
Yeah.
Get Fallon in as Wendy.
Oh,
and that's her main roster call-up. She's now Wendy Styles. I'd watch that shit. Better than Jerry Lawler coming back.
Yeah, I don't know why Lawler's coming
Wendy Chu. Gosh. That's perfect. Yeah, I think retcon Wendy, so it's Wendy Chu. This is my wife. She's in NXT. She's Wendy Chu. She's tired. Word. She's so tired.
Oh, my word.
She's exhausted all the time. She loves her Starbucks, and she's tired.
You want to answer some questions, Steve?
She likes to fight while she's napping. Yeah, let's answer some questions. We got a thread here.
We do.
At Real Going In Raw on the Twitter.
Yep.
Nikita Lyons is that would be amazing.
Oh,
that'd be awesome. She's like, Edge, Beth Phoenix, bring that same energy.
True World Order. If Vince's power play on Cody is true, again, we don't know if it's true. It's pure speculation. But for the sake of answering this question, let's assume there's announced the truth.
Of course, this is for entertainment purposes. We talk about these.
Yeah, reckless speculation. If Vince's power play on Cody is true, does that hurt WWE the next time an AEW talent becomes available?
No.
Anybody who's going to consider signing with WWE, I would hope, would know full well what they're potentially getting into. This is just another thing to consider.
If the last 4 decades or so of WWE business practices isn't enough, this isn't going to change anybody's mind. You look at all the other shit. Oh, this is going to be the thing? No, man, you got to go full on understanding what you're getting into before you get into it.
Yep. Blake Elizondo, who's getting a shot at each of the AEW titles next. Thunder Rosa is definitely going to be taking on Britt Baker in 9 days for that AEW
9 days.
And she's going to win it.
9 days.
Wardlow, Scorpio Sky is going to be taking on Sammy on Wednesday, and then Wardlow is going to be facing the winner of that the following Wednesday. So we know those two. The AEW Championship. You'd assume Adam Cole, he lost, out of the picture.
Probably, right? Yeah.
So who would be a good next contender for Paige?
If Miro is close to coming back, Miro would be a good one.
Yeah,
I get the feeling that like Paige is probably going to mix it up with Cole and the Young Bucks, or Cole and Redragon a little bit more.
Could be
Dr. Agon, probably a little bit more. But I don't know, maybe Miro. Oh, Kingston would be great. Kingston's high off his first big win. He's
going
like
straight for the top title.
He's like, listen, this time I got 2 Reese's Pies. Eat them both, then nobody can beat me.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if we see Paige versus Jericho at Double or Nothing, though.
That would be awesome.
That would not surprise me.
Yeah, that'd be good.
A lot of people are saying Punk. I know after he won last night, he was doing the.
Yeah, I sort of reckon, man, do Punk. Do the most popular guys. Do Mox. Do them all and have Hangman beat them all. People like when people just do cool shit, including beating people that you like. So, yeah, do all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
White Brownie asked, if you guys were a tag team, how ridiculous would your betrayal angle be? For example, Larson turns on Steve because he stole his sandwich. It would be because you were making a hamburger and I farted near you.
There would be some element of flatulence involved.
There would be, without a doubt.
Yeah, it would be fart-based. It would be a fart-based angle. Completely and totally.
Mm-hmm.
And people would be talking about it for decades.
I know. And that just starts it. And from there, it's escalating into just more flatulence.
More flatulence. Eventually, the big payoff is poo-poo.
Yeah.
Is
someone
dudemania.
poops their pants.
It'd be dudemania.
Yeah, and it's dudemania. There you go. No question. It's not like if. Did Steve and or Larson poop their pants at WrestleMania? No.
We always like pointing out when something that we're talking about is so important to a first-time chatter that somebody who's been lurking here decides to pipe up for the first time because they're like, oh, I want to finally engage in this conversation. Well, I have good news. Tanner Likes Stuff is a first-time chatter here on the Twitch, and he's piping in because he wants to get his word in on this storyline, and he says, the Fart Foundation.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant.
He said, this is going to be my big debut. Welcome to the show, Tanner.
Yes, thank you. Welcome to the show. Nast plays. Now that Revolution is in the rear view, which story and or wrestler are you most looking forward to seeing the fallout from, and where they go between now and Double or Nothing? It might be MJF and Wardlow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I'm dying to find out what happens on Dynamite. What a nerd I am. Man, that's going to be good shit. Oh, Wardlow. He's cock of the walk. Did you see that strut of his?
I know.
Man, that dude came down.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy
great.
over.
It was pretty great.
This little turd slapped me for the last time.
It was pretty damn great.
So I got the I wonder if getting the brass ring gives him some sort of other contract with AEW. You know, wouldn't that be like a kind of a cool thing? If like because legally he's fucked if he doesn't do what MJF wants him to.
Cybernet has a good idea for a match for Paige, like a 4-way elimination match, Paige against the 3 other prior champions.
Oh, that's good.
The elimination match.
A succession elimination match? Still like a bore on the floor thing? Is it like a gauntlet thing, or like a 4-way dance would be cool. Like if it's elimination 4-way, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, that'd be
really cool. Kyle asks, what would be the name of the new Regal faction if it were to go ahead?
Oh, it's going to be a bad name, whatever it is.
Yeah, they're not very good with names over at AEW.
They're not. Like, you get used to it. It's charming because of AEW. But, like, Pinnacle was bad. If this Undisputed Originals thing is true, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's not good.
Inner Circle's a good name. That was a good name.
Yeah. Team Taz is fine.
Team Taz is fine.
But yeah,
it is
Inner
what
Circle
it
is
is.
good.
Literal. That's a very literal name.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, what's your take on the Taz Ruby Soho one-sided controversy where she had a shirt made because, she has the awesome orange hair.
Yeah.
And the shirt was very black and orange themed. It was like a cartoon. It was a really cool looking drawing of her, Ruby Soho in orange, her hair in that shock orange.
Yeah.
Taz on Twitter said, oh, well, I didn't know she was Team Taz. And then people were like, what the fuck, dude? And he was like, look, I'm just saying, I established for decades that this is my color scheme. I'm just saying, some people should have respect for that.
He doesn't have he hasn't cornered the entire industry on those 2 colors together as a color scheme.
Yeah, I'm with you on. See, my thing is this. Here's my take on it. If it's another faction, because like a lot of the colors are taken, like you can't do purple because of the Dark Order.
Yeah.
If it's another faction of like dudes or something, and they're trying to do orange and black or purple and black.
Yeah.
I get that. I
For
kind of
branding
understand.
purposes, it doesn't make sense to do that from a business perspective.
Plus, it doesn't make any sense. But Ruby is a unique individual who has her own thing.
Yeah.
Are we now just claiming colors? Is that what's happening now?
Maggie here says, does he know Halloween is a thing? I know.
Halloween, has been branded for, at least a decade now as orange and black and a little bit of purple, maybe sometimes green as well. Decades Halloween has had that. So, yeah.
Hugh Longheavy, what kind of pie should Eddie Kingston eat to give him the best chance of winning a title? I mean, he seemingly did pretty well with that Reese's peanut butter pie.
you roll with what got you there.
Exactly.
Maybe on Dark Elevation you experiment with some like Oreo, like the Oreo cookie pie type thing where it's like crumbs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you got to roll with what got you there. Is there a Snickers pie? Should be.
Don't know.
That'd be good.
The Wild Dude, what matches on Revolution do you think could have been shortened or outright moved to Dynamite or Rampage to make the show less long or exhausting overall for the crowd?
You know what, man? I saw all sorts of comments, and then even people like that were in attendance have reached out to us. AEW is sort of there was not a weak match on the card. I'm cool. It's 4 times a year.
I know.
I'm cool with this. This is kind of the limit. 5 hours is kind of the limit.
Yeah.
But I'm cool with it.
Yeah. 4 times a year. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Hart the Duchy, with Triple H's in-ring career likely over, do you think that his legacy in the minds of younger fans will mean much less than, say, someone in their 20s or older? Depends if they watch NXT or not. I think if younger fans are familiar with his era of NXT and like that show, they'll probably think very highly of Triple H.
Yeah. No, I think Triple H is, unfortunately, if this is the end of the day for Triple H, I hope it's not, but I have no idea what this heart condition is. That stuff can be very serious, and that'll force people to retire. Unfortunately, that legacy, it'll be a solid one, but it'll unfortunately, because of the way it ended, I hope he gets a redemption story. I really do, because he built something special in NXT, and then it just fucking collapsed.
I know.
It just absolutely collapsed, and that's an absolute bummer.
Yeah.
Another first-time chatter here, Mayu Nation, says, I just checked Wikipedia, and Taz 100% invented the color of orange.
All right.
He says, I think Taz knows it pops people when he gets upset. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be an element of trolling there.
Yeah, I think so. But
also those old school wrestlers, man.
They're kind of protective of their gimmicks.
Mm-hmm, yeah, man. They got the pride.
Come Tuesday.
Come Tuesday.
After Mania, who should take the undisputed Universal WWE Championship off of Roman Reigns? Wrong answers only.
Oh, wrong. Von Wagner. Von Wagner, absolutely.
On an episode of NXT 2.0.
Buddy, on an episode of Level Up.
Well, it has to be on 2.0 because then it would be Come Tuesday.
Come Tuesday.
Come Tuesday.
Yeah.
Rody Chodes. Would you ever consider having your sons, Internet Today or Dan Nerd Cube, to do and Going in Raw View? I think it would be interesting and funny to have some people who aren't as tuned into the world of wrestling like you guys watch something ridiculous and get the reaction. That would be fun. We used to do, back in the early days of Going in Raw, we would do something similar with Dan. Mm-hmm. Book of the Match. Mm-hmm. Like Book of the Month, essentially, where we'd watch an old show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be fun to sort of like have a couple drinks with Internet Today.
Yeah, and something we talked with them about before is doing something like that.
Yeah, I would love to bring him on for like a Triple Mania. Now there's like 3 Triple Manias.
I know.
And a
Rey
to
Reyes. The first one's next month.
Yeah, it's April 30th. Because I had to make sure it was not going to interfere with Action Coast on the 16th.
Oh.
I think it's April 30th. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, April's be a busy month for predictions.
I know.
Should we do predictions for Action Coast Wrestling too?
We got, if Enforcer can make it down for that shit, that'd be rad. That'd be amazing. Yeah. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about for April. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll answer some more of your questions and talk more about this Taz having the monopoly on orange. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.